My grandmother spent decades caring for these trees. They weren't just landscaping. They were family history. Every tree held a memory. She planted many of them herself. Some were older than the neighborhood. Others marked important family moments. Each one mattered. Before leaving on a business trip, everything looked normal. The property was quiet. The trees were healthy. Nothing seemed wrong. I left for 5 days. Just 5 days. I had no idea that would be enough time for disaster. While I was away, the HOA became interested in my property. Specifically, the trees near the edge of the lot. They claimed they weren't mine. Without contacting me directly, they discussed removing the trees. They believed the land belonged to the HOA. That assumption would become very expensive. A tree crew were hired. Permits were never verified properly. Ownership was never confirmed. The chainsaws arrived anyway. The crew trusted the HOA's instructions. No one contacted the property owner. No one checked the original survey records. By the time the work was finished, decades of growth were gone. The property looked completely different. When I returned, I couldn't believe what I saw. The trees were gone. Every single one. I walked from stump to stump in disbelief. Years of family history had vanished. Then I noticed something unusual near the property line. A small piece of rusted metal sticking out of the dirt. At first, I thought it was an old nail, but it looked different. It seemed intentionally placed, almost like a marker. I pulled it out carefully. The iron pin was old, very old, and it looked important. After cleaning it, I noticed faded markings stamped into the metal. One number immediately caught my attention. That night, I started researching. The number on the pin had to mean something. Hours later, I found my first clue. The pin matched an original survey. A survey conducted in 1944, long before the HOA existed, long before the neighborhood was built. The more records I found, the clearer the picture became. My grandmother's property boundaries had never changed. I needed proof, not assumptions, not opinions, real proof. The surveyor spent hours examining the land, every marker, every record, every boundary line. Then he found another marker, and another. Each one confirmed the same thing. The property line was exactly where my grandmother said it was. The results were undeniable. The trees had been entirely on my property. Not partially, not disputed. Entirely mine. The HOA wasn't mistaken by a few feet. They were wrong by a lot. Every tree they removed belonged to me. Meanwhile, the HOA remained confident. They believed they had acted legally. They had no idea what the survey revealed. I contacted an attorney. The evidence was overwhelming. The survey records told the entire story, and the damages were significant. Then came another surprise. The trees were worth far more than I expected. Some were decades old. Others were considered premium hardwoods. An arborist evaluated the loss. He measured every stump, every species, every removed tree. The final report shocked everyone. Replacement costs were enormous. Property damage was substantial, and the numbers kept growing. When all damages were added together, the total exceeded $225,000. The HOA's shortcut had become a financial disaster. The legal notice arrived days later. Board members read every page. Their confidence disappeared almost instantly. For the first time, the HOA saw the 1944 survey evidence. The iron pin had changed everything, and the real consequences were just beginning.